Greetings. Welcome to Brainwash Yourself, your favorite podcast or your new favorite podcast. I am Callista.
I'm Annika.
And we're your hosts. We're super excited because it is our very first video episode. So we're super excited to be coming to your eyes and to your ears this week. If you're still just listening, that's fine. But if you're curious what we look like, you can go check us out on YouTube. We'll link it down below. We're super excited about today's episode. It's about kind of this fresh start, restart energy that is like a tool tip technique that we love to keep in our tool belt. And it is a really potent one to pull out around this exact current time because of some of the energies that we are receiving. And we're gonna do a little energy forecast, energy update to kick off the episode this time. So, Annika, take it away.
We're going to take it away, folks. Reporting to you live from the library. We are going to be talking about this energy that is entering the planet basically every year around this time. But I would say that every year it is getting more amplified because, like we talked about in our last episode, we are moving closer and closer to the galactic center. So the spiritual energy and the light, aka consciousness, that is entering the planet is just amplifying and increasing, and the potential for receiving and integrating and utilizing and embodying this energy is amplifying for us all. So good news. And this time of year, there's so much energy and it's kind of palpable and in the air. And I don't know if you feel it, but we can all just take a deep breath in and just really see if we can tune into the energy that is available for us. And I know that people associate it with different things. You know, it's the sunniest time of year in our hemisphere in North America, and it's Leo season, which I know people relate to. There just being a lot of energy to harness in terms of confidence, in terms of creativity, in terms of being outgoing. But particularly right now, the end of July up until around the Lionsgate portal, maybe even August 11th.
Which the Lionsgate portal is August 8th.
8/8 every year. There is this energy of fresh start, of new beginnings, of being able to plant one's intentions and dreams in a way that you can kind of just express them to the universe, to your subconscious, to God, and they will just unfold and you can kind of forget about them. So that is a major tip. Right now we're in a window for that, and there are multiple events that have kind of taken place. So on July 25th was the day out of time, which is kind of the day before the Mayan New Year. And it's kind of this void space before this new beginning. And it is aligned with the star Sirius, which is basically has been associated in esoteric and ancient traditions for a long time as our spiritual sun. So all of these energies and these movements are kind of aligned with this point where Sirius, our spiritual sun, is conjunct with our actual planetary sun. So it's kind of like our sun envelops the spiritual sun, and there's this potential before the spiritual sun rises above our actual sun for harnessing this incredibly potent energy, because they're both kind of shining on us at once together. Their power is conjunct and combined. And then when Sirius rises above our sun, it's kind of like this massive rebirth that can occur. So to be honest, there's really nothing that you have to particularly do to be able to experience the power of this time. But if you kind of consciously work with these cycles that are going on, it can really help with whatever you're trying to create. Or if you are wanting a fresh start in your life, in any area, now is the perfect time. If you have really deep soul dreams that basically we would encourage you not to have any limits around, not to have any subconscious limits around, which in Brainwash Yourself, we talk a lot about the subconscious mind. And essentially anything is possible as long as the subconscious mind isn't, blocking what you potentially want to create, what you potentially want to experience. And this is a perfect time to kind of dream without abandon, ask for what you want without limitation, and just really go for it and really feel into and experience what you want to bring in and what you want to experience in this life, because it's meant to be so juicy, it's meant to be delicious, and it's really something you can have fun with. So basically, because right now, esoterically, the Sirius, known as our spiritual sun, like the cosmic heart, and our sun is embracing this spiritual sun, it's time to just get clear and centered, because from that space we can receive this energy more easily, because when we're clear channels, it can just enter the channel in a way that's unimpeded. And essentially this time of year is just really a time where your highest dreams can become a reality, and they're so supported. And so we just wanted to let you know, because it's kind of this energy where we're approaching the Lionsgate portal on the 8th, and it's a really potent time. And so as our listeners, we just want to say, what are your greatest dreams? How can you allow them to come through you more and express them in a way that life can really hear you and respond to you, and just watch what unfolds from there as a fun and beautiful process. So that's the energy update in terms of Sirius, in terms of our sun, in terms of kind of all these dates that are coming up. And I'm no expert, so you can do your research on this as well. But every single year I've noticed, this is a time of year where I can feel the energy. It feels, like I said before, it's palpable in the air. And I think more recently I've learned kind of the ins and outs of, this is for a long time been known as a really powerful, energetic time of the year. And so I think it's fun just when you have a little bit more awareness around what is actually happening and see kind of how you feel. And everybody's different, and everybody's channel interacts with the energy differently. So however you feel is perfect. And I'll pass it to Callista to tell us a little bit more about some different energetics that are also going on right now.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much. Super exciting. Definitely listen to Annika, y'all. Think of your wildest dreams. Take off the limit. Name it. Put it out there. Write it down. Speak it out loud. And then forget about it. Detach. Don't cling. Wait for the energies to kind of move on your behalf and just feel as aligned as you can. That's what I'm going to be focusing on doing around this time as much as I can. Another thing that is happening, word to Indigo Angel. I have learned a lot from her. We will link her channel down below, and we've talked about her on the channel before. And it's interesting how these kind of codes were coming to our attention right around the time of the Mayan New Year, because she is kind of a grid worker who will go to different locations on the earth and do light work, something I'm not super familiar with. If it sounds new and unfamiliar to you, I get it. Keep on rocking with us. But she was down in South America at Machu Picchu doing a clearing, and she was also talking about a lot of these energies coming in when it comes to the solar energies, Sirius energies. There's a central sun. We've talked about Cygnus, the constellation Cygnus, the Swan constellation, how there was a supernova out there, and that double diamond plasma light has been reaching Earth. A lot of these, you know, geomagnetic activity, it's a lot of energy in it. Humans are very affected, and it affects everyone differently, but one thing that is coming through for the collective is a clearing of the Earth's sacral chakra. And another thing Indigo Angel said that I resonated with was, as humans, we are holographic reflections of the Earth. So when the Earth sacral chakra is cleared, a lot of collective templates within all of us are cleared. And sometimes the themes can seem even more potent and obvious and visible in these times because they kind of surface to be released. We talk about that in the podcast many of time. And so the sacral chakra is the second chakra right above the root. It resonates with the color orange, and it's kind of in like the womb area, like lower belly, and it has to do with emotions, creative expression, sensuality, sexuality, and it's associated with the water element. And in a healthy state is characterized by a flowing energy. When it's blocked, that can be associated with things like creative blocks and sexual traumas, which you know, I think is a major theme for the collective, and I think will be a potent transformation and shift for some of those templates to be cleared. And then there's also the pain body. If you are familiar with Eckhart Tolle, his book, The Power of One, we are thinking of maybe starting a book club called the Brainwash Book Club, and maybe book clubbing that book. It's really good, in my opinion. I recommend it. And he talks about the pain body, the collective pain body, and then there's also the collective female pain body, and that is also being cleared. So you can read his book to look more into that. When I learned about it, I resonated a lot because I felt sometimes like the collective pain. I really felt the collective pain body sometimes. Like I would feel a sense of like pain at these traumas that really were just affecting other people. And when I learned about the pain body, it did kind of like put the pieces together for me with that experience. And I think that being cleared is super major and super exciting. And how I think it ties into the whole Mayan New Year, you know, moving forward, the fresh start energy that we are going to get into later in this episode is just this idea of like releasing the past and letting go. Like Annika was talking about our subconscious blocks, and it's true. We do talk about reprogramming the subconscious in this podcast. That's basically the main idea. And we are the masters, like as humans with egos, of getting in our own way, like the self-sabotage, and it's unconscious. Like sometimes we don't even realize it, and we get caught in these loops that we're self-perpetuating because it's what we're used to, even though we don't like it, and we're destined for greater. But we're the ones who are keeping ourselves there. And it's hilarious.
Yeah.
In some ways it's not, because when you're in it, it's actually not, but
when you're in it, it's like tragic. Yeah. But it truly is. It's like life is a game of you and you. And the earlier you can realize that, it's just like, okay, there's really like nothing else to work on besides my own beliefs, my own attitude, like my own part of like the holographic fractal, because everything that we experience is just a reflection of that, which makes it easier because you're like, okay, I know where to work. I know where to put my energy.
Right. Yeah. And especially when you learn like the tools and the tips and the techniques, like it would be cool to do an episode just on dissolving subconscious blocks and like what are the common ones and stuff like that. And then we talk about so many things on this podcast, you guys. If you're interested in these topics, go back to some of our previous episodes. We talk about Kundalini yoga, subliminal affirmations, so many mental reframes, and so much more. I do want to share a quote by Byron Katie, which relates to what I was just saying, which is, reality is always the story of a past. And the great thing about the past is it's over. So just remember, like, you can always just decide, this is what this episode is about. Like, the fresh start, press reset. We do have the Mayan New Year here, which is a great time and a great potent opportunity. But a lot of times on people's birthdays, on like January 1st, the new year, whether it be, the first day of Aries season, the first day of spring, like there's these different points. And Annika and I joke that like we will find an energetically potent reason for every single day, why every single day is just as blessed and magical as the next. But that's kind of the point, is like, don't wait for like that new year, new you. And the fact is, like, people the new year, new you is almost kind of like a joke. I love it, but I hear people not take it seriously, and I get it, because when you're just going through the motions 364 days of the year and then you try and overhaul it, like, I can see why it would not be sustainable. But when you're actually in the habit of resetting and making a fresh start for yourself, like some of these things that you would want to work on, it does make it a lot easier, because you're not building up all that negative momentum and letting so much time pass in between, kind of making that it's really an internal shift. And we're going to give some more practical like 3D, or whether it be mindset tips, or more like practical 3D tips and tricks for doing a reset, like things that we like to do and things that we like to think about. But really all it is taking that moment to yourself to reflect and kind of draw that line in the sand, where it's kind of like the before and after, and like from this point forward things are different, and like you're leaving the past behind, and you're just bringing forward like those highest parts of you into the future. And we want to encourage you to take that mindset. We want to encourage you to create a fresh start. Yes, for the Mayan New Year, it is super supported, and for these energies, and just really as often as you need it. Like, it's never too late to make a fresh start. I really believe that, whether it be in your life, like you're older in life, it's never too late to make a fresh start. I really, really believe that, and start over. And as well as like if your day's not going well, I love to just like start the day over in the afternoon. If my whole day has been wasted, like take a shower and start the day over at 10:30 p.m. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's such a healthy and helpful mind state when you are kind of getting down and things aren't going as you would like to. Salvage what's good, leave the rest behind, switch up the mindset, freshen up the attitude, move forward, unburdened, and make some beautiful things happen in the future and in the present. That's the energy. So we hope you're interested. We hope it helps you guys. We hope you like it. And I want to hear some more about what Annika thinks about it.
Yeah. Fresh start energy. I love kind of how you were touching on, first of all, the fact that, this has nothing to do with the cycle. Like, primarily with the energetic cycle that we just explained. Like, it's good energy for a fresh start, but like mainly that was like a tip and trick to help you potentially add some amplification power to like any like soul deep dreams that you may have. It's, you know, a perfect time to speak them out, a perfect time for them to be super supportive. But in terms of a fresh start, this is almost, like Callista was saying, a mindset that can be cultivated in a way that the more that you do it, the easier and the quicker it is to like get out of a funk or to change up the energy when you don't like how things are going. And, you know, an example for this is that I think in the past for me, if I would get in a funk, maybe it would last much longer than it does now. And that I think is the mark of evolution and progress, isn't the fact that like, you know, you don't get in a funk anymore. It's just like the speed at which you can get out of it. And I think for me, we can kind of go into like a little bit of the nitty gritty, and everybody is going to have their own unique thing. But one of the huge pieces, I think foundational, it's like physical, that when you might be feeling off, it's like, are you getting enough sleep? Are you drinking enough water? Have you been nourishing yourself with good food? Have you been getting sunlight? Do you need to move your body? Like, you know, go for a run, go for a long walk, like all of these things. I would say more things can be added, but these are kind of foundational because it's almost like our physical body. It's not almost like, it pretty much is like our physical body is the vehicle for which like our consciousness is filtered through, and our state of our consciousness is how we're experiencing reality. Like, is it delicious? Is it beautiful? Is it, you know, feeling really rough today? It's the mind and the body filters through our consciousness. And if there's something off with the body, we're going to feel off. Our perspective is going to feel maybe not optimal in how we want it to feel. So that is kind of baseline, and then we can work up from there. So I would say when I just am feeling wiped, it's not like I have to be like, okay, I'm having a fresh start tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm just going to let myself sleep. And I'm going to like sleep in tomorrow. And if all I do is, you know, sleep in, and like, even if I have to do work, if I do it from like a restful place, you know, I just give myself, and this is just me personally, I just give myself that grace of how can I make the next, you know, how can I get a bunch of sleep tonight and then make tomorrow as easy as it can be? Even if a lot has to get done, like what's the bare minimum I can do so that I can have the most restful day possible? And it's almost like the more grace you can give, or I can give myself, the kind of quicker I like actually don't even need as much rest as I thought I initially would, or I can just pop out of it and feel better so much earlier than I thought. You know, like if it's a Saturday, I'm like, can sleep in as late as I want, and then I get up, kind of have a restful morning, and then I feel so much better and good to go. And so physical foundation is super important. And then I would say that for me, having something, if it totally depends on where you are and what you're looking for, because if you already have such an excellent routine, you're already feeling really great, you can still have a fresh start by looking at specific areas of your life where you're like, okay, maybe I want to like take this a step further, or maybe if I add this, it would really optimize this. So this is kind of for everyone. But if one is feeling like they really need, like if we're starting with like the funks, like you're in a funk and you start with the physical foundation, and then from there you can be like, okay, what about like the mental and the spiritual well-being? I would say that starting to implement, we've talked about this a lot, like mini habits, even though there might be resistance there at first. That's why like starting off with mini is perfect, because if you only have to do something for 3 minutes, it's not a big deal if it's a grind to get through it. And the next day it probably won't be. So if you try to start off with, you know, a half an hour and it's a grind to get through, that's going to be kind of gnarly. But if you start off with 3 minutes, you know, maybe in 5 days you'll want to do a half an hour. And even if you don't, those 3 minutes are probably gold. So I'm talking about things like when you wake up, maybe not grabbing your phone right away, breathing for a few minutes. For me, I don't look at my phone right away. So for me, it'd be like if I haven't been meditating, which now it's so ingrained as a habit in me that's usually kind of just what happens in a flow. But I would say a recipe for a fresh start mentally and spiritually is when you get up, just breathing for a few minutes. And then when you actually, get out of bed, meditating anywhere from 3 to 10 minutes, and then making a list of what you're grateful for. That is like a super short recipe for, I think, a good spiritual and mental reset. And then something I would add for it, if like you feel like you need some more life force and energy in your body, is a minute to 3 minutes of breath of fire, which is equal inhale and exhale through the nose while pumping your navel. On the exhale, you pump it in, and this just like floods the body with prana and floods the body with life force energy. And you can look up online how to do breath of fire. Specifically in Kundalini yoga, it's like equal inhale, exhale. It's not just a focus on the exhale. And I think that kind of hits a different note than meditating and gratitude, because meditating, it like calms all of the flurrying forces, the thoughts, the energies, so that one can feel a little bit more clear and a little bit less reactive. And then the gratitude kind of tunes your mind to look throughout your day what you're grateful for and what you appreciate, which can really reprogram the mind legitimately. And so that kind of touches on those two aspects. And then if I'm feeling really tired or worn down, adding something where you can get like a little bit more prana and a little bit more life force into the body is amazing. And that can also be done any time of day. It could be afternoon, you take a nap, you wake up, and then you do that. And there are a million different versions of that. I just thought that was like a cute little easy recipe. And then obviously, like Callista talked about, I think taking a shower is huge. Water is huge. And you can just like imagine all of your energy being cleared. Oh, this is another one when we're talking about the physical. It's like physical body. Is my body okay? And then also, is my environment clean? Because I think a lot of times it'll be a reflection of our subconscious mind, of everything that we're experiencing. So when you're kind of doing the foundation of the physical body, it's like, okay, is my environment clean? What could be tuned up a little bit here? Because it's kind of miraculous actually if you feel like you can't do anything and then you just go to clean, and what an incredible shift that can make. These are super simple tips, and I'm sure a lot of our listeners, you're familiar with these, but we like to start with the foundations. And I have some more that kind of stack on top of that, but I'd love to hear your current thoughts.
Yes. Okay. I love this. So I am like addicted on YouTube to reset routine videos, and basically just like what Annika said, like how people, if they're in a funk, or even if they've just been traveling a lot, fallen out of routine in whatever way, how they kind of get back to themselves, get that fresh start energy. Rowena Sai and Michelle B. I will link them. They are the queens of it, I think. I mean, if there are some that you know about that I didn't mention, please link them to me. But so I think when it comes to, a recipe for a reset routine, the nap and the shower is a major key. Nap, shower are there enough clean clothes in your dresser and closet for you to put on a clean outfit that makes you feel good? If not, laundry is a major first step in the reset routine. If so, putting on a clean outfit that makes you feel good is a great first step in the reset routine. Cleaning the room is major. A deep clean and just decluttering, picking up is a major part of the reset routine. It's so therapeutic once you get into it. For me, once I got into it, there's nothing in this world I would rather be doing, truly, than cleaning my room. I truly mean that. And put the phone on airplane, or put the phone, if you download the Forest app, and put the phone on forest mode by growing the tree. That's a key part for me of the reset routine. And then it's also the GYST day, GYST, the get your stuff together day. We are clearing our schedule for the day, if not the weekend, if not the long weekend. And we are doing the reset routine. And so we have the clean room, we're showered, we're wearing the clean outfit. And then, do we have food? Do we own any food to eat? If not, we do want to go to the grocery store. And then once we have that covered, make a healthy meal. It doesn't need to be healthy like salad, even though it can be a salad. But what is your body craving? If you've been kind of not eating enough, maybe a healthy meal for you is like a really huge comfort food, serving of comfort food. And that's just like what your body is craving because you need something really nourishing and substantial. Maybe you're on the reverse where you've just been on kind of like a chip and candy diet and you just need like a green juice. So do that. And then the hydrating is a major thing as well. And I really think that like if we're just drinking, tap water or filtered water, we could actually be flushing our body of minerals and not feeling so hydrated. So I am into drinking like coconut water, remineralized water. If there's like a healthy hydration packet, I think stuff like that is super awesome for feeling hydrated and like eating fruits. And then also moving the body and like fresh air, sunlight, going for a walk outside is a triple whammy because it's all three. And then there's also just like, I feel really good when I lift weights. Like it can just be for 5 minutes. But if there's something like that where you really know like your body loves yoga, your body loves to go break a sweat or something like that, just like get that in. I love 5 or 10 minute workout. Like that's just for me because it is super easy. Like Annika was saying, where it's like going to the gym is kind of a lot, but do 10 push-ups, do 10 squats, do whatever it is, a plank for a minute and stuff like that. Do that. It's more sustainable to be consistent every day. But for the reset routine, it's really all you need. Like just do some jumping jacks, just get the blood flowing. It doesn't need to be like, okay, I haven't worked out in forever, so let me do like a 3-hour session. And the last thing I think is eating the frogs. I don't know if we've talked about this.
So true.
Yeah, on the podcast before. This is another quote, by the way. I think it's one of those that's often misattributed to Thomas Edison, but I know the quote, which is if your job is to eat a frog, it's best to do it first thing in the morning. And if your job is to eat 2 frogs, it's best to eat the biggest one first. And the idea is it really sucks to go all day dreading a task that you have to do. And so just go in head first and tackle that thing that you're dreading. So something that happens to me when I really need the reset day and the GYST day is like I have so many things, so many frogs I've been procrastinating. So that's a major element to the reset day is like making a to-do list and tackling the frogs and eating them. And like it's just the hugest weight off your shoulders and it feels like a new era. And it's funny, the things you procrastinate for months, it's always a 10-minute phone call or 5-minute phone call and it's resolved. Like it takes 2 seconds. And I just want to say that's basically it, but I just want to paint a picture for you. I want to paint a picture for you. It's later tonight or it's tomorrow night. You are feeling rested. You're squeaky clean. You are moisturized. You are feeling zen. Your phone is off. You're chilling in your clean sheets, clean room, clean subconscious mind because you've tackled your whole to-do list. The body's feeling good. It's been moving around. The body's stretched. The body had a healthy meal. You are ready for tomorrow because your clothes are clean. Your fridge is stocked. And maybe you just light a candle, put on your favorite show, listen to some music, read a good book, and you just relax. How nice does that sound? Like, how good does that sound? And like, when was the last time you gave yourself that experience? And that can really be every night. It's like, just think about it. Do you have any other thoughts?
I'm obsessed with that. I mean, I just have to say, like, as somebody who, it just seems so simple and so like 3D, if you listen to our last episode, to be like, to like all of these things, it's like tackling all of these things in the physical reality. But it's like our physical reality is a reflection of our inner reality. Like, there is no difference. Everything is one. Everything is integrated. And I think it's so powerful because I don't know if any of our listeners would resonate, but like for me, I think when I first started to get into all of the spiritual stuff, all of the energetic stuff, you know, and of course everything is spiritual, but like growing up in a household where like we never talked about this kind of stuff. Like when I first started going on this journey, I think I actually started neglecting the 3D a lot more. And I was focusing on all this other stuff, and I kind of thought that this kind of stuff didn't matter and was maybe like superficial. And like after like years and years of that, like I can't tell you how refreshing it is to really focus on all of this kind of stuff again, especially like with the new perspective gains and like the evolution that has like happened, like, and then be able to like come back to this, like the simplicity, like the washing the dish. It's so powerful, and it truly is like you taking care of you, me taking care of me, and it's like we all deserve to feel peace. We all deserve to feel taken care of. We all deserve to feel like we are worth a day where we're just tending to all the stuff in our own world so that we can feel good, so that we can feel balanced. I think, you know, especially in this modern world, and, you know, maybe like with your job or with other responsibilities you feel like you have maybe to other people, we give a lot of our energy away, and it's a beautiful thing because we probably receive things back in return. But having a day, or having, you know, cutting out moments where we're just investing in ourselves and investing in our own lives, and even just giving ourselves the gift of that incredibly relaxing, beautiful night where we feel like we are so taken care of, is so beautiful and such a gift. And I just think that it's something that we all deserve. And, you know, you deserve it. You deserve to feel so good, and like you got you, and just enjoy like the sensory deliciousness of life, like once all that kind of stuff is cleared away. And it can be fun. Like that's what I love so much about all this stuff too, is that it can be fun and enjoyable, and it doesn't have to feel like chores or like work or like all of those things. It's like you can kind of brainwash yourself into like a deep enjoyment of this experience.
I love it. I think that moving forward from the reset, you can always do a mastermind session. Like some of the stuff I was thinking of saying is like, just if you're interested in things like taking a plan and paper, and like a pen and paper, and journaling, and both though, and like journaling, strategizing, planning, doing research and stuff like that to kind of construct a plan for moving forward. Like I think that's an awesome thing to add on to the fresh start. And I'm not going to get into it too much because we actually talked about it for an hour and a half in like our mastermind codes episode. So go listen to it. And we want to make like a printable mastermind session worksheet for you guys, so stay tuned. But one thing in terms of mindset that we have really been vibing with is this idea of life on easy mode, which is like just releasing the idea that there's always going to be something, and like waiting for the struggle and assuming something is going to be a grind and kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop. It's like, think of life on easy mode like a video game, where it's like everything is really not that hard. Like you have the objective, but it's like you can stay relaxed and just kind of like enjoy the scenery and still get your points and still level up. You know the rules. It's meant to be fun.
Mm-hmm. You don't need to be so like caught up in the frequency of the stress and the hustle. Like, it's almost like the exact same thing could be happening, but you could be like back here instead of hooked into everything, like waiting for everybody's reaction, waiting for the result of every single thing. It's kind of like this, no, like life is different now. Like life is on easy mode. And we talked a lot in our 5D episode about this shift. And I kind of feel like one of the huge energetic shifts of this entering into the 5D is life on easy mode. It's like, we don't have to have such, which is funny because we talk about tips, tricks, techniques, all these things, but like we don't actually have to like hold on so tightly with like intense control to everything, you know, and that is like a mindset and an energy. It doesn't mean that you're like not doing anything. And
it doesn't mean challenges won't come up.
Yes.
But how can you let go of making it harder than it needs to be? Mm-hmm. And just keep it simple, one step at a time.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And I think that another thing that can be super helpful, which is, I guess, like with this whole fresh start energy, it's like a lot of what we talk about and what first inspired us to start Brainwash Yourself in the sub club is us listening to subliminals, because these are tracks with subliminal affirmations that help reprogram your subconscious mind and make it easier to do these things. You know, like if you want to be the kind of person who lives life on easy mode or consistently has these fresh starts or loves to clean and loves to be organized, it's like there's a subliminal for that.
We're huge into them, you guys.
Yeah, huge into them. And
huge.
Yes. And if you feel like you don't have the energy or the mindset to do these kinds of things or live in the way that like you're wanting to live, that is a hack. Like, there are things out there that can help you. You don't just have to use your raw willpower to get past blocks to like get to where you want to be, because we have these programs in our mind and there are things that are supportive for, you know, not all of the programs we meant to install, and a lot of them we didn't even have the awareness that they were being downloaded into our subconscious mind. So there are hacks, and one of them is, like we were saying, subliminals. We're going to make a fresh start playlist that has like 5 songs, and
including Life on Easy Mode, which inspired us talking about Life on Easy Mode.
Exactly. And so sometimes I would have to say, sometimes I'm like so down and out that I'm just like, you know, I need to go take a nap and just like lay my subliminal playlist right there. And like, I can't tell you sometimes the shifts that happen, or you wake up and, you know, you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, and then halfway through my subliminal playlist, I'm like ready to go, you know? So,
oh my gosh, you guys,
they're matrix keys.
Yeah. Yes, I listened to the same subliminal playlist for months and months. Yes, I transformed, but then I updated it and started listening to a new subliminal playlist. So crazy how fast things have been changing and how much I've been loving it. So we've done a episode in the past about subliminal affirmations, as well as our current protocol, as well as our results. But our current protocol is now outdated. We're getting some more crazy results day by day. They come flooding in. So we may need to do some part 2s.
Yes, we do. We're so excited because truly, I think that if you're interested in subliminals at all and you want a little bit of a fresh start vibe, this is where to start. Fresh Start playlist will be in the show notes. And they're kind of our faves. I feel like we both have subliminal playlists that are like 60 to 70 songs, and we were like, if we could only have 5, this is what it would be. And
besides some of the spiritual ones, I think I always have one to just connect to like the pure divine spirit within. I think that's the number one top priority in life. But I totally agree. I'm obsessed on another level with the Fresh Start playlist.
Yes. And if you want some for other random things, as we've said in the past, you can email us at brainwashyourselfpodcast@gmail.com, and we can give you some suggestions because we love you. And
get in now before it costs $10 million, because we're so famous for our custom subliminal playlist.
No, for real. And we just want us all to be thriving. So we're on the journey with you. We're all on the subship, and the subship is doing pretty hot. So good job, everybody. I feel like this is a super galactic, interstellar, angelic, beautiful crew of amazing people. So here's to your fresh start. Here's to our fresh start. Here's to a fresh start for the planet.
Woohoo! We will see you guys in a month, but you will hear us again in 2 weeks. We are adopting a new schedule now that we have transitioned to video. Every other Wednesday, an episode comes out, and every other episode will be on video. You don't need to remember that. Just stick along for the ride. Hit subscribe, hit like, comment, rate us 5 stars, post us, share us with a friend. If you want to and you think they would like it, you don't have to, but we want to get the word out. Mm-hmm. We're hyped on the pod. So we love you guys. Thank you for listening.
Mwah!